at all. It's bleak. It's depressing. And there seems to be little hope for a day when all will be right again with the climate of our world. But again, we stand in need of a miracle. And because of Jesus, we know the miracle wins. So why all this blasted talk about miracles? I mean, things we can't see or touch or taste. We all understand that this is faith and that we're supposed to be in the faith business around here. But when reality strikes and our very lives are at stake, when rational and reasonable evidence says otherwise, faith doesn't come so easy. Such, I believe, was the case with Mary in our text today. This is one of the great precursors to the birth narrative of Jesus. The first chapter of the book has Luke rolling out the red carpet, as it were, for Jesus. First is the announcement of Zechariah by the angel Gabriel, and then his prophecy after the birth of his son John, later to be known as John the Baptist. Then Gabriel's move over to Mary, and then Mary's song, or the Magnificat, as it's called. For Mary, though, this was not just an out-of-the-blue bit of good news. I mean, the ramifications for a young woman who turned up pregnant out of wedlock in those days was basically a death sentence. This greatest of all callings thing could really ruin a person's life. Not only would a person have to leave town, but a young girl found to be in this kind of compromising position was now surely on her own. Parents would consider her a disgrace, and they would disown her. Maybe that explains why we don't know anything about Mary's parents. So here we have a young girl who was visited by an angel. Now, what are the odds of that, I suppose? And she's told that she's to carry this holy child and call it the Son of God. Wow. Now, there's a showstopper. And then she flees Nazareth for the hill country where Zechariah and Elizabeth live. And rather than to tell her old friends about this most concerning dilemma, how to convince her folks and her fiancé that all this was happening and she should be the mother of God's child? No. She instead chose to deliver her elaborate song of joy and thanksgiving over this news. My soul magnifies the Lord, she says, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. What a strange way to act when you are surely facing a whole load of trouble. But that's what she did. She not only praised her God, but she also acknowledged that God was up to something completely new. This would absolutely be the event that would turn the world around, or maybe even upside down. The order of things would surely be disrupted. The lowly would be raised up, giving special attention to those who sought him and dedicated themselves to God's work. The prideful would be overlooked. The powerful would be overthrown. You would make sure that the needs of the hungry were met while sending the rich away with not so much as a crumb. God will look after us, just like he did with our ancestors Abraham and all his descendants. This is no heavenly baby shower, really. Then again, this was no ordinary baby. This birth announcement and Mary's subsequent song remind us that not only was Jesus going to be great, he was going to be a social justice superstar, bringing everyone back into the family. No one on top making their millions on the backs of the masses. No one sheltering their fortunes in foreign bank accounts. No one living under bridges and scrounging through trash cans for little to eat. Instead, for Jesus, it would be a matter of us all recognizing that we are but one family. By taking away all the distractions that divide us one from the other. Was this whole pregnancy thing rational or reasonable or even understandable? Hardly. It sounded crazy, and it must have been a real pinch-me moment for Mary, I should think. But my friends, it is about a miracle. And since we know this story, we can be assured the miracle wins. On this first Sunday of Advent, a time of preparation for the church to welcome once again the Savior and Messiah, we also celebrate all the ways that Jesus has changed the way we do business. The Phantom commercial spreading the good news about what it's like to live in a community rather than being at odds with one another is a perfect example. The recent climate talks in Qatar bring to mind just one more troubling statistic in our world that can bring us to our knees. The realization that we are all in this together, and that global warming can be addressed by us all, is also a great example that everything is possible because of Jesus. And the story of Mary, which we know so well, is a brilliant illustration in itself. That Jesus, the one that would change everything, can also change us. Mary's is a story of a miracle announcement, a miracle birth, a miracle child, a miracle that shows us how to be family once again, a miracle that has the power to change letters and words, a miracle